Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. Let's get some eyeballs and ears into the live stream. Come on, hold on. Let me grab my notes while people get on here. We have a special guest on today. We have Asia J. Norton, Esquire, who's running for councilwoman in the South Ward. She was born and raised and still lives in the South Ward. She's a mother, a commercial real estate attorney, third generation Newark teacher, former board president for the Newark Board of Education. She's also the founder and president of a civic association, Asia J. Norton Civic Association. And also, she graduated from Rutgers Law School right here in Newark, Columbia University, Simmons College, and her church. Let's give a shout out to her church, Union Chapel AME, and St. Jamila AME Church. And she's also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And also, one last thing, she can swim. She's a good swimmer. And I don't know if she's still a lifeguard, but we'll ask when we bring her on. So without further ado, let's welcome Asia on. Hello, Asia.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Finally, I got you on Current Exposure.
Yes.
OMG. OMG. I'm going to have to let my audience get into the comments with any questions and all that good stuff they have for you, because I may be a little biased. I'm a fan. I've seen your work over the course of the years in Newark. You were, before you were even on school board, I remember you were doing the Sun Up program, distributing information, keeping people knowledgeable about it, and making sure kids had that access to nutrition. I've seen you. So
wow.
So don't, right. So don't think people aren't watching. People are watching us in the community.
Amen.
Just like
Amen.
watching you, I'm quite sure other people have seen you as well. You were on the school board after that. I definitely voted for you. I felt like you did some quality work there. And now here you are running for South Ward Councilwoman.
Amen.
Let's get into that. Like, what motivated you to step out and in this direction?
Yeah, so I come from a family of service. As you already mentioned before, I was born and raised right here in the South Ward of Newark, New Jersey, and I grew up at Union Chapel AME Church right here in the South Ward on Wainwright off of Lyons Avenue. And I tell you, I grew up in that church. And it was my family church. And so my grandfather was a trustee. My grandmother, she sung in the choir. My aunts, my mom, my uncles, my cousins, we all attended that church. And while attending and being a church member, I watched my family just be a part of this community. And it wasn't just the church community, it was the community overall. So I'm talking about Wainwright, I'm talking about Lyons, I'm talking about Leslie Street, I'm talking about Chancellor, right?
Wow.
And like we can keep growing out of that. And so watching how my grandfather would be I'm gonna just say like the HNIC, right?
Okay. He was like Joe Clark type.
No, a little bit more timid, a little bit more like just his presence alone, right? But Yeah, definitely a man of his time. He's originally from the Jim Crow South.
Wow.
He fought in the Korean War, came up to Newark right after he fought in the war. And
Uh-huh.
so, right, like he was born in the mid 1930s. So a man of his time,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
So a military man, he worked for the New York Telephone Company, and he always put his trust and faith in God to raise his family and
Mhm.
right to guide his path. And
Okay.
he being a man of God, coming from the Jim Crow South, where it was just very community, he just always poured into the community. And it wasn't like
Okay.
he poured in, it was like it was community, right? He
And you
received
got
it
to
as
see
well.
that.
Right. And that was what I grew up on. Like that was what I grew up.
Wow.
And to this
Wow.
day, my grandfather, he passed away about 10 years ago from cancer. But
Sorry about that.
yes, thank you. And so, but to this day, his image and his name is throughout the church because of how much he poured into the church.
Wow.
And so just being the granddaughter of his, I'm going to say his
Mhm.
name, Robert Lee Bruton Jr., and watching that, right? Like that was my norm. That was my norm.
Okay.
You give back, right? You're part of this
Yeah.
community, and it's not us versus them. It's we,
Mhm.
all of us. And so growing up with that type of family, that type of leadership, I too aspire to be of that, right? Like I
Okay.
aspire to give back to the community that has poured so much into me, right?
Nice.
And so
Nice.
I attended Maple Avenue School. I was a lifeguard, as you mentioned. I learned how to swim at St. Peter's Pool.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right. And then when my father passed away when I was 12 years old from
Oh,
he
sorry to
died.
hear about that
Thank
too.
you.
Wow.
He died from a drug overdose, and very unfortunate. And at the same time, my community came and surrounded me and supported
Okay.
me and uplifted me. And when I became a
Nice.
mom, same thing. My community came and supported me and uplifted me. Um,
Mhm.
and so I aspire to give back to the community that has given me so much,
Wow.
whether it be from my childhood to my adulthood and to my motherhood, right? All these hoods.
Mhm. Welcome to the hood.
Exactly. And so with that, and so becoming a teacher right here in Newark,
Okay.
I'm teaching kindergarten for 6 years right here in my
Nice.
backyard.
Ooh.
Um, joining the school board, right? That is the active service. And so for folks that don't know, being a school board member is the only unpaid position, elected position in Newark. Oh, not in Newark, but in the state of New Jersey. And
Oh, okay.
so all school board members, right? Whether you like them or not, that's a volunteer position. And so when you go
Wow.
up at meetings, the meetings that you see, the meetings that you don't see, community events, they're there at their free will, not being paid whatsoever. And so
Wow.
adding that
Ooh.
as my active service and being of service to my community, and then learning so much in that role as well. I was the chair of the Finance and Budget Committee for 2 years. I
Mm.
co-chaired the Programs and Instructions Committee,
Okay.
for about 6 years, became the board, one of the board vice presidents, and became the board president, and was able to truly learn the systems, right? One, the Newark's budget is the largest budget, school budget in the state of New Jersey.
Mm.
And
Okay.
so being able to work with district staff, our school business administrator and her amazing team to put together a budget that addresses the needs of all of our students. Newark is very diverse, right? We have different
Yeah.
needs, we have different backgrounds. And so being able to do that type of work. And then I also chair the legal committee.
Oh,
And I
okay.
used to always
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I would always tell board members that, like, I think one of the first committees that you should join is the legal committee, because the work that we do out in the other committees, if it don't
Uh-huh.
work out, it's gonna end up in the legal committee.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, you
Yeah,
giving me some knowledge.
exactly,
I like this
exactly.
insight. Now I know where to go.
Yeah. No, seriously. And so when litigation matters come up, people
Uh-huh.
trying to sue or just right, just legal matters in general.
Right.
And then rising to become the president of the board. and all that responsibility. And the time that I became the board president, there was a little, I'm saying little, I'm being very polite, but there was a lot of issues going on at that time, a lot of legal issues. And thankfully, I had just graduated from law school, and I had my background in education. My legal background allowed me to navigate and help the board out of those legal situations.
See, they don't talk about that and put that into tap into or
girl.
or NJ.com.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of legal matters that was going on. And again, being able to work with my board members, right? And if you're familiar with the school board, it's the members we're diverse as well, right? We come from diverse neighborhoods. We come from diverse experiences. Some are parents, some are not parents, some have children. Some only have boys, some only have girls. Right? And so there's different. And so being able to work to be a leader amongst leaders, it's not an easy task, but it's something that I've been given the opportunity and was successful at it.
Nice.
And so, and I do want to hit on, because this has been sometimes it comes up here and there. And I resigned from the Board of Education. And so people are like, oh, why did she resign? There is articles that explicitly say it, but definitely just want to say it directly as well on this platform. So when I graduated from law school, I had the opportunity to clerk for the assignment judge of Essex County, right?
Wow.
And so just a background, what that means. So every county, also known as a vicinage, has its own court system that falls under the New Jersey Superior Court. And every county has the boss judge, the judge of all judges. And that is called the assignment judge. And so I was hired by the assignment judge here in Essex County. And the courts are expected to be not to have a conflict. If you work for the courts, you work for a judge, you're expected not to have any conflicts or any perceived ethical issues. And so I could not have been an elected official and have clerked for the assignment judge at the same time.
Nice. So wow. You did the right thing.
Amen. Right.
The ethical part.
Exactly. Exactly. And so my term was, I was in my second term at that time, and I had already decided that I wasn't going to run for re-election. I don't believe in hoarding seats. When I say seats, elected seats. And I feel as though if you're not able to accomplish certain things in a certain period of time, then
I agree.
Pass the baton, right? Allow the next to come and be of service. And so that's my personal view, and that's not me making a statement for others. That's just my personal view that I hold myself to. And so because I was already planning not to run for re-election. When I had started working for the courts, I had a few months left in my term. And so I'm starting my legal career, and my school board career was coming to an end. And so I decided to resign from the board so that I can, and clerk for the assignment judge in the largest vicinage in the state of New Jersey.
Congratulations to you on that accomplishment, even though I'm late.
Thank you for that. And and it's also one of those things where again, if you haven't already heard, I'm a woman of God, and I strongly believe that God is God's timing. And so God was like, all right, you served the community in this capacity. Now it's time for you to be of service in other areas. And so clerked for the assignment judge in Essex County, learned a lot. I worked in all the courts. I worked in family court. I worked in civil court. I worked in criminal court. My judge, her background is she's a criminal judge. To and through. She was a prosecutor, she was a public defender, and so heavily worked in the criminal courts, and chancery. So basically, property related in the state. And so learned a lot. I also had the privilege of being a mediator. And so small claims, people would
Wow.
come in. I helped mediate a lot of cases. And the reason why I'm laughing is because it really was a true test and teaching of the ability of working with parties that have different interests, but helping them to come to a conclusion that was going to be in their best interest for both parties, and not going before a judge and the judge saying, you're right, you're wrong, you're the winner, you're the loser, but making sure that both parties can have some type of wins. And then shortly after I clerked for the judge, and so clerkships are only for a year, I then began working as an attorney downtown Newark in commercial real estate. And I specifically wanted to work in commercial real estate because of the development that's going on here in Newark. And so I'm one of those people that if I want to learn something, I want to know it. Like I want to be trained in it. I don't want to like, oh, I read this article or I read this book.
So you do your research.
I try to become, I become a student.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I become a student so I can learn. And that's the best way of learning, right? Is to become a student. And so I got into commercial real estate with all this development that's going on here in the city of Newark, and specifically in the South Ward. And to really understand what it means, right? Like, what does it mean to develop? What is that process? The process of putting a development project together. What does it mean to work with developers? What does it mean to work with organizations? What does it mean to work with companies? Like, what does that mean? And what does it mean to like getting something that starts from an idea, putting it on a paper, to then digging a hole in the ground, right?
Right.
All of that is a process within itself. And I'm never a fan of people just telling me like, oh, this is a good idea. And I say like, okay, it's a good idea. Like, I'm gonna need
you need more information, some
background.
Why are you doing it? Who is it going to affect? Who will it benefit? Who will it put at in a disadvantage? Or
Exactly.
Okay, and that's good. That's the type of leadership we need.
Yes, exactly. And I feel as though in general, as us as a people, we need to have quality leaders, right?
Yes.
And we need to be looking for those quality leaders when we're in the voting booths. And I always aspire to be of quality. And not to be of quality in terms of just my words, but through my education, through my experiences, through my actions. And so that's what led me, and this is going back to your question, that's what has led me to running for South Ward Council. I believe that the South Ward believes strong leadership. I believe that the South Ward deserve a competent leader. I believe the South Ward deserves experience, right? This is not a job that you learn on. This is not a learn on the job type of position.
Okay. You should come in with some type of background knowledge and skills and experience.
You do.
Right.
And you need to. And you need to. This is, yeah, it's this, because this is our livelihood, right? Like I have a son, and I was born at Newark Beth Israel Hospital. I gave birth at Newark Beth Israel Hospital. We have always lived within this community, and my son is being raised here. And when there's shootings, I have to have a conversation with him. One, when there's shootings, it has to be like, get down. Right? Bullets don't have a name on them, right? If it's a lot,
and that's messed up.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Our kids should not be living like that.
Exactly. And so my investment in the community it doesn't even, it goes beyond me. It goes to my family, my son, my cousins, right? Like all the men and women and children in my life, and my neighbors, right? Like I have neighbors that have watched my mom and uncles and aunties be raised.
Wow. Nice. So it's tight knit. So are there any changes? Are you noticing like new people moving in?
Oh, yeah. The South Ward, so first of all, the South Ward, in terms of, in many ways, it's a beautiful place to live, right? And so if you want to talk about our proximity to transportation, we have 78, we have 22, we have Newark Airport. My friends, they leave like 3 hours, 4 hours to get on a flight. I'm like, what? Like that's a 5-minute drive.
Right.
Like all that, right? We on the South Ward, it's a beautiful area, like where it's such a historic area, and we have these
Mhm.
beautiful homes with these beautiful backyards and tree-lined streets. And
Uh-huh.
but that's not always, and that's the quality of life, right? And
Mhm.
but there are neighborhoods where trees are either they're aging and it's they're causing issues for property owners. There we have
Okay.
trees that roots are going into properties, like what is it called? Going into plumbing systems and
Oh, yeah.
causing like water issues, right? And then sometimes, not even sometimes, just about all the time, trees are being knocked down but not being replaced. And
Mhm.
that's an environmental issue. That's a health issue, right? And
Right.
so having leadership that hears people and going to do something about it and not doing it during election time, doing it right,
Did you
like
notice that too? I knew I
doing it
wasn't the
all
only
4
one.
years, like, doing it all 4 years, and
Right. Right.
and
Like,
and
they
and it's
just
not
woke
just
up.
me, seriously, and it's not me that noticing, it's not just you, it's not just your viewers, it's everyday folk, and I love that about us, like, when I tell you I love us, I love us. And, like, recently, there's been trees that were, planted on my street, and they're beautiful, and I'm if you haven't already tell, like, I'm a fan of trees, right?
Right.
We all should be. And I was talking to one of my neighbors, and he was so skeptical. He was like, "They're gonna be taken down." Like as if, like, it's performative. And it's a very
Wow.
unfortunate thing because, right, his, belief, right? Like, his lack of trust, his lack of belief in something so beautiful and so necessary is not gonna last long. It's just being performative.
Right.
And
That's
whether that's
sad.
the it is, and whether that's the intention or unintention, that's the result, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so having leaders such as myself that is gonna show up, right? It's not performative, right?
Right.
And
Right.
having a track record that I'm not performative, right? Like when I was on the school board, my one of my favorite parts was being in this community. It's
Mhm.
my favorite part, like going to the football games, being a coach, not coach, being a judge at debate um
Oh, nice.
competitions,
Nice.
going to our
That's
schools to watch
cool.
performances, like,
Mhm.
I ate it up, and
Mhm.
not only I eat it up, but it put me in close proximity to those that are closest to issues,
Right.
and when they express, and so one of my favorite stories to tell about one of my successes, and it's one of my favorite successes because of how it came about. So about when I chaired the finance and budget committee on the Newark Board of Education, I my cousin at the time, he was playing football at Weekway High School,
Okay.
and I would go to the games. I still go to games, like to this day, still at the games, whether my cousin plays there or not. I eat it up. And so went to one of the games, and the coach, he's now retired, Logan, he was saying how the football field hasn't been cleaned in years,
Mhm.
like years. And so for you, I didn't understand this. He had to break this down to me. And so I'm a teacher at heart, so I'm gonna break things down. Um,
Okay.
and so our fields in the Newark Board of Education, they're not grass, they're turf. And so
Mm.
turf it's synthetic, right? It's not real.
Yeah.
And so because of that, when it versus grass, when grass is like dirty, there's a grass has its own filtration system, right? Like when it rains, it goes down
Okay.
into the soil and then it right that it self cleans itself, you can say. Turf
Right.
doesn't, right? Turf does not self clean. Like whatever
Wow.
like sweat is on there, if there's like if
Bacteria?
bacteria, exactly, like if a dog it goes onto the field and lays waste, it's just there, right? There's no
Whoa.
like when it
Ew.
rains, it's just there. It's not self-clean, right? And so it's very right sanitary issues. And so when he expressed this to me, I'm like, that sounds gross.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I go back to being the chair of the budget and finance committee. I go back to the committee and I express this concern. And I'm saying we have to put something in place that's going one, we need to clean these fields. And it wasn't just Weekway, it was all the fields that were affected. Whether Behringer High School, School Stadium,
Right.
Central doesn't have a football field, but it has a practice field on the school campus. And so Go back to the committee, talked it out with the school business administrator and her team, and within a few months, we had a contract, right? There was like, right,
Okay.
procurement. I'm not going to get into that, but there was a procurement process. We got it under
Right.
contract. And from there, now the fields were on a 1-year cleaning schedule, right? So
Okay.
before, going from like never been cleaned since it was installed to a 1-year cleaning schedule, annual.
Hmm.
And then fast forward, the year that my last year on the board, guess who got new fields?
Who?
All the schools, Weekway.
All of them.
Wow.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Everyone got a new field. And it all started. And so that's why it's my favorite story, because that such a long-term solution that affects our players. And right, it's not just football, like track, soccer, community
Mm-hmm.
events, all these things, right? Like I know at Weekway Otterman Field, Chancellor Avenue, they utilize that the field, right, for
Mm-hmm.
their recess time. And so it's one of my favorite stories, because that long-term solution just started from me just being in the community, being
Right.
present,
Talking to the people.
listening, right?
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
just
That it
talking, because people
impacts.
just talk,
Right.
listening.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
listen to people. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people say, like, and we're very passionate people, and so sometimes we may come off as like, I'm gonna use the word aggressive, but it's not aggression, it's just passionate. And so sometimes when we hear our constituents, our residents, and how they're framing their issues, people get offended, like, oh, you're
Yeah.
attacking me. And it's like, no, they're not attacking you, they're just expressing themselves. Like, could it be done a
Right.
different way? Yeah, but you signed up to be this type, like, to be in this leadership. Listen.
Exactly.
And so something that started just because my close proximity of the community, and how it just had this ripple effect that just kept benefiting the community in total. That's just a proven track record. And
Right.
so I am of this community, like literally the school
Mm-hmm.
system. I saw one of my former teachers, who was just pouring into me, just being proud.
Nice.
Um, and like being a product of our education system, being a product of this community, being a grown woman, right? Being a career woman, being a product, right? Went to Rutgers Law School-Newark, right? My
Yes. Shout out
education.
to Rutgers Norton. See,
Amen.
I always have synergy with other Rutgers alumni.
Girl, go nice. Girl, because it's a vibe. It's a
Right,
vibe.
right, right. It is. It
It's a
is. It
vibe.
is.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Not everyone can rock the red the same, right? And
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
and so being of this community from as a child, being born, raised, bred, however you want to like frame
Hmm.
it, and then being a mom here, raising my own kid, making
Right.
decisions on behalf of my child. My child is a product of our education system here at Newark. And then being right of quality of leadership, right? And
Right.
we're just gonna call it
Yeah.
what it is. Not having a leadership that's learning on the job, but showing up competent and effectively
Exactly.
knowing how to do the job. And if they don't know how to do something, they're capable of learning it.
See, I like that. Why? What's wrong with going to learn what you need to know?
It's not. And it's one of those things where they do in other communities. Why don't we deserve it? Right? Like you go in
Exactly.
other communities, like they have sound leadership. They have leaderships that is quality. And I'm not saying, and it is by a one's definition. And what I mean by that is there's so many attributes one can have that make them a quality leader. There's so many
Right.
things. And but it needs to be my son, he's like coming home. And so you're gonna like hear a little bit and try not to like
Okay. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
his own privacy as much as possible. But what have you. And so we need to be holding our own selves uh, to a level and saying like we deserve this type of leadership. We
Right.
deserve leaders that of
Right.
this quality. Like we deserve this. And it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
not
Why?
just okay. It's necessary. It's necessary.
Especially in 2026, I
Girl,
feel like
girl.
we are so behind I don't even want to talk about the technology. I see people doing things with AI that's very basic right now. And I love it because at least they're engaging with it, but we are behind. And we should have, I feel like there's basically 10 seats for 10 brilliant people, like to lead and manage our city. So why are we not right?
Newark has it.
Exactly.
We're not depleted of experience. We're not depleted of quality. Like we're not at all. And we come from a very rich community. And like my leaders growing up, right? Like Donald Payne Sr. was my congressman. Donald Bradley was my councilman, right? Like Tucker was my it's so funny because they're all Donalds. Donald Tucker.
And you know what? You knew these people.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I'm hearing people saying they don't even know who their current council person is. I'm like, what?
Girl, if there's something on this campaign trail that is probably one of the most shocking for me is people not knowing. You're absolutely right. Like, who is that? I've never heard them. It's not even like, oh, I heard of them before. Right. It's like, I've never heard of them. And like, again, like in my neighborhood, it was so funny because, right, like in the beginning of the election cycle, you get your petition signed, right? So I'm like, I'm knocking on doors of my neighbors, like, can you sign my petition? And this was like back in the January, February, so it snowed, and we got like a good amount of snow this year. And so like, a lot of snow boots and like my scarf. It was so wow to me. But one of my neighbors, like after I got my name on the ballot, right, and like campaigning is like revving up, I go back to like one of my neighbors, and I went back to all of them, but specifically this one neighbor, I was giving him a lawn sign, and I was like, "Can I put my lawn sign up?" He was like, "Yeah, of course." He was like, "FYI, the current council person knocked on my door the other day." I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, I was like, "Did you know who they were?" And he was like, "I've never seen this person a day in my life." He was like, "I didn't even know who they were." And
telling.
It's like, okay. And they were like, what else did they say? They were like, they were knocking on the door, girl. Peep this. They were knocking on the door asking if he wanted the fire, like a firefighter to like check his fire alarm.
Okay.
And he was like, "I'm not letting someone in my house." Like, that's
right. And then it sounds weird.
Right. Like, exactly. He was so weirded out.
Send me a notice in the mail.
He was like, "Why are you knocking on my door asking for my fire alarm to be checked?" It was just so, and it cracked me up. I thought, well, I'm saying it cracked me up. It was a funny story, but it's just like,
wow.
I'm speaking to the statement that they don't even know who people are.
Right. That's wild to me. But yeah.
And like after 4 years, now it's like, "Hey, you want me to check your fire alarm?" Like, what?
Right. Yeah. Like that sound like is this a home invasion? Is this the new way they're doing it?
I'm not letting the government in my house.
That is funny. Oh my
gosh. Like, no. And then too, who are you?
Who are you? I'm your current councilman. Oh, okay.
But like going back to like I know who Donald Bradley was, right? And like I know who the Paynes are, and like with Payne Jr., I would never. So like I wash my clothes at the laundromat, like around the corner, and I would see, like, rest his soul, I would see Payne Jr. like it would be his bow tie, like I would see him at the laundromat, like that is
wow.
Come on,
it's
like,
regular, accessible.
It's right, like you're right there, like it is not, and that was me as an adult in that moment. But like for my son, it's like, no, like your congressperson, like you see your like you know them. It's not like a fictitious thing. It's not like
who is that? Yeah.
It's like, that was right there with the bow tie. Like, come on. That's such, and he was with his wife. And they were just like sitting there, just waiting for the clothes to be dried.
Wow.
So
Wow.
beautiful. And so that's what I was raised on. Right? Like, that's what
Yeah.
that is like being raised on a family that I just watched and participated in, just being pouring back into the community. And my family, we also hosted block parties. Like, it was just,
Oh, nice. Cool.
and that was childhood. Like, I had a beautiful childhood. I like my childhood. Like, there are aspects of it, right, that just like I can do without. But the overall gist of it, I love my childhood, and I loved it because of that sense of community.
I love those block parties too.
Girl, and
I know what you're talking about. That was a South Ward thing. There was like a block party in the summer, like every week, a block party.
Exactly. And then and I took over my family block parties. And then it was like a 2-for-1 deal for me because my son, his birthday's in the summer. So it was just like,
nice.
Oh, we have a block party.
That was the thing with my grandmother.
Exactly.
Her birthday was in August, and
exactly. And so being raised on that, right? And wanting, and like how I raised my son, I raised him just how my mom and my family raised me, and wanting, and this community is such a beautiful place to raise a child when it's done right. Right. And it's a blessing for me to have that experience as a child being raised here and trying to do my best to mimic that as a mother for my own kid. And it's not just only about like my kid, it's about like my neighbors, it's about my students, right? My former being a school. I was a teacher down the street from my school.
Wow.
I lived down the street from my school. And it was funny because like my students would like see me at the pool, St. Peter's pool. Like, hey, Miss Norton.
But that's how we grew up. That too. Like you would see your gym teacher at the supermarket. Stuff like that. Like we were more connected now.
Exactly. And we don't have to go far for exceptional leaders, right? We don't have to go far. It's a matter of getting out there and putting exceptional leaders in positions. And expecting of quality, right? And those that have demonstrated quality, let's do our job. Like, let's get us elected.
Okay. Leon Coleman has a question. He said, if elected councilwoman, what are some of the things you're planning to do for your ward that you feel is lacking now? Would you ask those hard questions of your colleagues and hold them accountable, as well as whomever is elected as mayor?
Thank you so much for your question, Mr. Coleman. Absolutely. And it's something that, again, it's one thing to like say like, yes, I will do this. It's another thing to say like, I have done this.
Okay, that's even better. I like that one. You've done it. You know how to do it.
Yeah. And so when I was on the school board, it wasn't just like a yes. Whether it be from my board colleagues or even if it was from the administration, right, the superintendent and his folks. And because for me, it needs to make sense, right? Like if it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. But I'm not going, because for me, my basis, especially when I was on the school board, was like, what is in the best interest of our children? Like what do our children need that's going to help them to learn? What's going to help them to be in a safe environment that's going to allow them to grow, etc. And so, and to answer your question, right, I'm answering your question by giving an example of what I have done in the past. And so while on council as South Ward Councilwoman, I would, their accountability is healthy for a community, right? It is not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. And I even like speak for myself, like I too need to be held accountable, right? And we all have our limitations. We only know what we know, right? We only experience what we have experienced, but that is not like everyone's experience, right? That's not all the knowledge that is out there. And so if you are coming up short on something because you may not know everything or you don't have a grasp of everything, you need to be held accountable. Like, no, this is not a good decision. You can't make this decision.
Right. Yes.
Right. And so it's not to villainize anyone. And it's to say like, hey, you don't have all the facts. let me give you some more information to help you make a better decision that's going to affect me and my family and my neighbors. And so some things that the first part of your question, Mr. Coleman, regarding like things that need to be like addressed, there's a lot of development happening in the South Ward. And that development is, whether people know it or not, it's having its trickle effect on everyday residents, right? And so when you're talking about development, when you are developing an area, well, there's actually like two sides to it. Development is happening and taxes are increasing, right? And so those things are very highly connected. And so as whether if you're a homeowner, you directly know that your property taxes are increasing, right? If you're a renter, you may not know that because, right, like you're not getting a tax bill. But if you are a renter and you live in an apartment building or two-family house, 3-family house, etc., when that property taxes are increased, that apartment building or that multi-dwelling home property taxes are increasing, the property owner isn't eating that cost. Like they're not saying like, okay, your rent's going to stay the same and I'm going to pay that the increases. No, the owner of that property is sending those funds, or not sending, is the renters are going to eat those costs, right? And so your rent is going to increase. And so when property taxes are increasing, your rent is going to increase because landlords and property owners are handing off that cost onto you. They're not eating that cost. They're giving that cost to you. You're eating that cost. And so when property taxes are going up, right? Everyone's affected, renters, homeowners. Then we have developers, right? We have development going up, buildings going up. And if you guys are familiar, these developers, these projects are receiving tax abatements. What are tax abatements? Abatements is basically like a discount on taxes, right? And so they're not paying the full value of that property is being developed, and because it's being developed, the value of that property is increasing, but the taxes aren't increasing with the value of that property. And so it's residents.
Meanwhile, my property
residents are paying those developments.
Right. Now, I'm glad you broke it down like that and demystified it, because some people think, some of us yelling about, stop with the tax abatements. Hold up. Chill out. Y'all killing us over here.
Yeah. And if you do want to have them, where are those? How are developers reinvesting back into the community, right? If my property taxes are going up, where's the quality of services, right?
Yes.
And again, not only during election time, like our streets are really pretty right now, like not gonna lie. Like they're pretty, but like a year ago, it wasn't. 3 months ago, it wasn't, right? And 6 months ago, it's
I hope it needs to stay like that.
Exactly.
And you know, I'm collecting the pictures, because as soon as if it gets dirty, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But if it gets dirty, I'm pulling the pictures out. Like,
and we don't have to give the benefit of the doubt. It's just historically speaking, right? Because 4 years ago, I remember there was a lot of streets that were getting repaved, right? So, right, it was around election time. Let's do something. And then throughout the course of 4 years, the conditions are the conditions. And so, as South Ward Councilwoman, being at our meetings, the council meetings, and fighting for the South Ward and saying, hey, this neighborhood, this block, this community is not receiving the services that they deserve. Y'all need to go down there and provide quality service. And then you go drive down there. You go drive down there. Like you see for yourself, right? And so I think that's necessarily what is lacking. It's that independent voice that for the South Ward, specifically for the South Ward, saying our needs are lacking and we need someone down at City Hall that is speaking up for the needs of the South Ward community. And that's why that accountability piece comes in and is necessary, because it's like, we're not saying you're intentionally trying to be negligent. You just don't know. That's why you have council people to say like, hey, I
Exactly.
come in closer proximity to this area. I know these people. Like I drive down these streets. I get phone calls. I get emails. And now I'm passing along these grievances to the appropriate parties. And I'm going to keep applying pressure until the results is the results that need to be. And
so with that being said, would you ban someone who keeps coming down and stating their grievances to the city council, because people have been banned for doing that?
Yeah. And so again, I'm going to answer this question by reflecting on what I have done.
Okay.
Right. And so when I was the board president, I didn't ban anyone. And there were definitely people that were there that were coming
to pop off.
Specifically on me.
Wow. What? You're like the nicest person.
Now that's another article you could read about, right? There were people that like came down to school board meetings while I was the board president and for me, so I'm a lawyer, right? And and so I have a few, right? I'm about to dweeb out a little. So I have a few favorite amendments, U.S. Constitutional amendments, right? The 13th and 14th amendments are my favorite, right? Yes. We're free, amen. And so those are my favorite. And so after them, my third favorite amendment is the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And I believe that the public voice is needed in government, right? Like that's the point of it, right? Like that is constitutional, right?
Right.
And to ban people is kind of infringing on their right. And again, as the board president, I didn't ever think to even ban someone, even if they were at the mic and at school board meetings, it's 3 minutes for speaking, even if they went over their time, even if they were like in the crowd and like
they call the police to carry him out of there, get them out of there.
Yeah, and there's ways of trying to de-escalate, and that's not always the case. And that's not me saying, like, right, it's not one size fits all. Like situations do arise, but like to ban someone of their right to speak during a government meeting, like that is the issue. And no, I will not do that. And I haven't done it. Like again, it's not just words. It's literally like just look at my track record. I haven't done that.
So do you all like take an oath to uphold the Constitution for when you come in as school board?
Yeah, we take an oath.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Like
nice.
The Bible, the Quran, however, like your is, and you put your right hand up, and yeah, you take an oath. It is to uphold the U.S. Constitution and New Jersey's Constitution. Absolutely.
Oh, nice. See, you're giving us some good info too. You're teaching us. See that's that teacher coming out.
I know, and it's not even like I try not to. I more so give people disclaimers. I always say like I'll over-explain something, because I'd rather know that you understand the context versus me just talking and you don't know what I'm talking about. So everything I'm saying is just going over your head.
Right.
And I want someone to do that for me too. Like if I'm around an engineer, you about to explain to me the pulley system or the whatever mechanism, please break it down, because I don't want to be a deer in headlights. Like break this down for me. So I like meet me where I am. And it truly is the teacher in me, like being the daughter and granddaughter of educators, being an educator myself. We can't leave people out of conversations by not explaining what things mean. Like we need to invite people in. We invite people in by explaining things. And it's not to devalue them. It's more so to uplift them, because the more educated a society is, the better, right? If we look at societies around the world, there are governments that intentionally try to make sure that their population goes uneducated, because uneducated folks don't, like they don't know like what's better. They don't know what they deserve. They don't know their rights. Like they don't know things. And so they kind of become like more subdued. And so we need to educate our citizens, our residents, so that they can be better advocates for themselves, because when our residents are better advocates, it only benefits the entire community. right? It's
Yes.
a healthy community. An educated community is a healthy community.
I like that. Leon Coleman said, thank you. You explained very well. He appreciates you and power to our people. He says, I believe you are a great candidate. Keep up your great service.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. So I have a question about the school board too.
Okay.
What do you think about the turnouts for the elections? And since you have that experience of being on the board, do you think that it's because of the time of year? And do you think we should move the elections to November?
Yeah, so I actually was just talking about this with one of my friends. And so before we can talk about that, we need to understand the historic context.
Okay. Okay.
Right. And
that
so
makes sense.
People sometimes forget that we literally just came back from local control, it was from state control. Like we just gained, like the North residents just regained local control, right? And we were under, the district was under state control for over 20 years. Like that's a lifetime. Like
Yeah.
I was, and I'm about to like tell my age for those that want to be math whiz, but when the board was taken under state control back in 1993, and I was in the second or third grade.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's a whole generation that basically went disenfranchised. And what does that mean? Like we still had the school board, but it was an advisory board. So they did not have any official capacity. They were just advising. They were advising the state appointed superintendent. And so current superintendent did uphold whatever the advisory school board wanted to do. And so they say, like, we want this school to have this resource, or we want this program to be in the district. Then the state appointed superintendent, sometimes some state appointed superintendents would say, like, okay, yes, whatever you want. But then we have other state appointed superintendents like Cami Anderson, Chris Surf, that said, I don't care what y'all want.
Yeah.
You didn't hire me. The governor hired me. And so I don't got to do it. And they were well within their right? It was under state control. And so the state appointed superintendent had absolute authority. And so having 20 plus years of that, the community becomes disenfranchised because now they're like, it doesn't matter. The elections don't matter, right?
Okay.
Because school board members, they're just advisory board members. Like they don't have any, their vote, their voice doesn't really matter, right? The appointed superintendent can just say, like, we don't care what you want. We're not doing it. And so when you have 20 plus years of that, the community becomes disenfranchised. And then you have people that were raised in that. And so they too have learned that, like, oh, school board doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it didn't matter in the past. And so the district went back to local control back in 2018.
Okay.
And I know this number because that's the year that I was elected. I never served on their advisory board. I've only ever been elected to the local control school board. We were just always the school board. Whatever decisions we made, that was the decision. The superintendent, and we hired the superintendent. And so the superintendent can never overrule whatever the board members voted on. And so that's back in 2018. We're now in 2016. So we're not even at 10 years of local control.
Okay.
There are people to this day that thinks the school board is still advisory.
Really?
Yeah. People don't know that. Like people still think that the school district is still operating under state control. And so
wow.
So the community has been disenfranchised for a whole generation, right? You have a whole generation that grew up on that. And so to re-educate, right? That alone is going to take time.
Okay.
Right. And so I wanted to give that backdrop because it's not like, oh, we're not showing up to vote. We have been disenfranchised for a whole generation.
So people think it doesn't matter.
People think it doesn't matter because it did not matter for over 20 years.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. And so there's that part. So if anything, there needs to be a campaign.
Yes.
Right, of just educating residents that, like, no, we have the power. And when I say, and I know there are going to people that say like, oh, we do that work. There's a difference between people who are into politics and people and the everyday folk.
Okay.
Everyday folk, right? Is just like they have children, they're caretakers, they have jobs, they have every day, right? They're not focused on politics. Like they're not like that is not their everyday. They have their own everyday. And then you have people that are just into it, like you and I. Like we just into it.
Right.
And so we know.
How do you pull those people in without confusing them or bringing them too far in that they
these
just
type of
see
conversations, like me going up the street, and so I'm a walker. I walk around my community and like having conversations with people and consistent conversations and like one-on-one conversations. And so people like, oh, people don't come to school board meetings. School board meetings on, and I'm not. This is not a diss because like school board meetings are happening Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Those are school nights. Those are work nights, right? People sometimes work during these hours too. And so you got to like meet people where they are. And that's like at homes, at games, right? At sporting events, at all these different places. And so if anything, like that needs to be a campaign within itself of just and not relying on social media, because not everyone's on social media.
Right.
Majority of people aren't on social media.
Right. So are the parents, the PTAs, were they impacted by this advisory?
No, PTAs are their own separate organizations.
Okay.
Yeah, PTAs operate outside of the school board. Like they're literally their own organization.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
they're not as active either though right now. So that's why I asked.
I would say certain schools have stronger PTAs than others. And it all depends on like it depends on the school community, right? It depends like to be a part of a PTA, right? Like our community, we are working class. Like we are working, like we work, we have jobs. No one is staying at home, right? Like even grandparents are working or grandparents are helping take care of children. And so like, if you look at communities that have like grand PTAs, they have that capacity. Those communities have those type of capacities. And so I don't like comparing. When I say, I don't like saying that like, oh, well, we don't have strong this. It's like, well, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Like areas that do have strong X, Y, and Z's, it's because there are reasons for that. They have the capacity, whether it be financial capacity, whether it be human capacity, like they have the capacity. And so our community, we're unique. Like we're Newark, right? And it can work. It does work in its own sense. There are systems that can be definitely improved with intentionality and not just assumptions or allowing. When I say intentionality, I believe that if you want something to change, you have to intentionally change it. You can't just leave it to chance. And so that intentionality part. But going back to your question about if Newark elections should be moved to November, there's pros and cons to both of those things because in November, right? Like that's everyone's election, right? You can have the president, you can have the US Senate, you can have Congress, you can have county, and then the school board is all the way at the bottom. Right? And so yes, you'll have more turnout because more people are coming out to vote, but are those truly educated voters for school board, or are they like just turning the paper around like, oh, what's this?
Got you.
And that's not, I'm not advocating for one or the other.
Right.
I'm
just
saying
needs
like,
to be more research, more.
Yeah, exactly.
More a survey done with the people to see, why they would want to switch it and why one.
And that could be a vote. That technically could be a vote. That can be a question on the ballot. And there was a question on the ballot, right, when I became on the school board, and this was required by law, if the school board should be appointed by the mayor or elected. And the people came out to vote, and the people voted for the school board should be elected, not appointed by the mayor. And so that could be a ballot question. The people could be asked, do you want your school board elections to be in April or November? And honestly, that probably is the best way of doing it. Like, ask the people what they want.
Right. And Leon has another question. He says, I have another question, if I may please. Global High School and what was going on, and they're calling teachers and students monkeys and other racial slurs. Whatever became of that, it seems like crickets took over.
Yeah, so I was when that I so when I how to answer this. I was not on the board when if there ever was a solution to that. And so when that came about, that was around like 2022, 2023. I became the board president in May of 2023, and that was a legal matter. When I say legal matter, right, like someone there was a lawsuit, and I had resigned from the board in September 2023, and then that matter was continuing. I can't answer your question because I was not on the board, no longer on the board, as it continued on. There are articles, I believe, that are out there, and maybe doing like a simple like Google search. But if I answer that question, it will only be from what I read, not from my own personal experience. And so, in being a true lawyer, I'm not going to answer a question that is not like reading an article that's just of like the journalist of their opinion. And so I'm not going to answer the question with someone else's opinion.
Right. Okay. George says, would you be open to walking patrol so residents can engage with the local police in your ward? Also safety for youth.
Yeah, I get my hair done. I am going to shout out them at Strands because I actually have that. I'm wearing a hat right now because I have my hair appointment tomorrow. Lady first and foremost. But and so they're located, and they're Muslim women originally from Newark. They all of them went to University High School. And
yes, they twisted my locks a couple of times when I had them.
Exactly, sisters.
Yeah, when they were on in Springfield Avenue.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they have the last few years they have settled in Maplewood. And the reason why I'm bringing this up to answer your question, sir, is when I'm getting my hair retwisted, right? They have just community police patrol, just walking up and down the street, and the police patrol goes into businesses, and it's like it's a community base. It's not like, oh, we are we are answering a call, like what's the problem? It's literally just to show face, like, I am a police officer. How are you? Everything is all right. All right, good. And I was like, that is so nice. Right, like to interact with law enforcement, and that it's just like, oh, hi.
They did it in Newark at one point when we had the consent decree was in effect, and that was a part of one of the suggestions that there be patrols walking around, and they would do that with the new officers that came on. They would
and that's what the guy was saying. He was saying that they do with the new officers, for one, to get them acclimated to the community, for the community to get acclimated to them. And so if a call should ever be made, it's a relationship now. It's not a me versus them. It's oh, I know that person. Like we talk, like, and like we talk just like simple talk, like how's your day? It's not like something that is of emergency. And so I do think, and it's so down the street from my house back in November and December. In November, there was a shooting, and that shooting did not there was no killing that resulted from that shooting. And so nothing was done. And when I say nothing was done, like nothing was even said from the current council person. Nothing was said, nothing was done. It was just like, well, no one got killed, so we went. But the community's traumatized, right?
And don't feel safe, like
and doesn't feel safe, and right, like to hear shots, right, like that's a war zone, right? Like to hear like that does something, that psychologically does something to you. And like it was on a school night, and so the next day everyone was expected to just be like, go to work, like go to school, and nothing, right? Like nothing was addressed. Also, like there was no police presence. About a month after that, there was another shooting right in the same spot, literally. And from this one, people did get killed. And now there's police presence. And I'm saying this to say, police presence is you need like as a safe community, like we do need law enforcement, right?
Right.
Because like if something happens, like I had a car accident, right? 2 car accidents. I'm calling the
Mhm.
police.
Right. Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
trying to break
Yeah.
into my home, I'm calling the police.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm calling like we need that, and we need to know who our officers are, and the officers need to know us, right?
Mhm.
And to have that type of relationship, it only builds more safety, right? Because the officers, they're not policing us, they're protecting us. That's a difference.
Yes.
Policing
Yes.
us,
Thank
protecting
you.
us. And
Thank you.
so it's hard to protect people that you don't know, that you don't have a relationship with, that you just like, right? There's a disconnect. You protect people that you know. You protect people that you have a sense that you have a relationship with, some type of relationship with. And so the reason why I bring up that shooting is because there was a police presence after that shooting, but the police officers never got out the cars. They stayed in the cars. Like they
That's
just stayed in the car.
oh,
And
that's not good.
I'm not knocking those officers. I'm knocking the leaders that
Right.
told them you could just stay in the car. No, you can't just
Yeah.
stay in the car. Get
Yeah.
out the car.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Like,
And Jimmy McCoy brought that up too. And he was a former police officer. And he
mm,
said, yeah, like they should be out the car.
get out the car. Like I don't and this and again and
And he said it was a leadership issue too.
it's a leadership because
Yep.
they're being directed to state. I'm not saying right, like I'm not there. I'm not hearing like what their
Yeah.
information that they're receiving. But if officers are following directives, right? And
Yes.
so if their directives is to like be here, they're going to be there. If the directive is you could be out the car or you can stay in the car. Well, I'm going to choose
Mhm.
to stay in the car. But if the directive says get out the car, they're going to get out the car.
Right. Right.
Like, and that's wild for me. And like the same thing, this is going outside the South Ward, but it definitely affects South Warders, like over there on Barton Market. I work close to over there, and I will never forget that there's officers on Barton Market, and they don't direct traffic. Instead, they have a
No.
crossing guard on
No.
Barton
Right.
Market. That's
It's
wild
weird
to
to
me.
me.
That is so that really like, but if you go to New York, and this is New York, if you go to New York, the police officers in New York are literally directing traffic, and so much
Right.
things happen on Barton Market with vehicles. It's like people make like right turns and turn,
Right.
they
When
don't
it's
turn
not
on
supposed to
broad
turn.
and
Yeah.
murky. Like, how do you even try to turn down? Because there's no officer that's like, no, you can't do that. And if
Right.
there are officers, they're in the car. Like, get out the
Exactly.
car.
Exactly.
It's wild.
Mobile. I guess they're mobile policing. I don't know.
That's not no mobile policing means you're driving.
Oh,
You're
okay.
in a car, you're stationary policing.
Stationary.
That is
Wow.
stationary city. Like you're just and again, this is not a knock to the police officers.
Right.
Again, when I was in my car accident, I called the police. When my license plates were stolen, I went down to the police station and filed my report.
Wow.
Like I'll even like go further. When I filed that my license plates were missing, like you have to wait a few days to get the report. And then once you get the report, then you go down to the DMV and get new license, but you gotta wait,
Okay.
right, for the report. But
Okay.
as you're waiting, your license plate is reported as stolen. And so the officers, Newark officers, shout out to them, like hardcore shout out to them. They would like not pull me over, but they're reading my tags and it's coming up as like stolen license plate. And so they're
Okay.
not making a big deal about it. They're not like pull over, right? They're just like, hey, your license plates are reported as missing. I was like, yeah, I did that. I'm just waiting for my police report. And they're like, okay, understood, understandable. All right, just
Oh,
make sure you handle that. Like they can easily they can make a big deal about that, right? Like it's stolen license plates. And so again, shout out to our officers. I appreciate the men and women that make sacrifices to protect
yes.
us each
Yes.
and every day. It's
I feel like we
literally
need the police.
we do, guys, we do. But it's literally what they're being told to do and what not to do.
Right.
And again, that shooting that happened a few months ago, those officers just stayed in the car.
Wow. Wow.
Because no one
Wow.
was telling them to get out the car.
Wow.
And that would have been like it would have been a good time to build that community relationship
Yes.
between officers and the people. And I'm, if you haven't noticed, like I'm an extrovert, I'm a chit chatter. So I'm like, so how you doing? What's going on? How long you
Right,
been in the
right.
force? And I know officer. Oh my God. I have officers in my family, like very close. Like I've been to like graduations like
Yes, yes.
there. And so now I'm like, so do you know such and such? Do you know this person? Like I'm trying to like I'm talking you up. Like, so are you from here? Do you live around here? Are you from Newark? Like, what school did you go to? Like,
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
And I'm also
You
sharing things about me. And so,
right.
and that just builds community. But if you in a car, I'm not knocking on your excuse me, like get out the car.
One time we did that and
Oh, good for you.
yeah,
Good for
yeah.
you. Good for you.
It was,
But
but why it, and my neighbor was mad because she felt like, why did we have to do that?
exactly.
And I agree with her, but I'm like, something was happening. I'm like, this
Yeah.
dude needs to do something about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
absolutely. But not everyone can do that, right? Not everyone knows to do that. Not everyone, right, feels comfortable to do that. Not
right, right,
everyone is
right.
like some, and that's majority of the people, and that's why it's up to our leaders to be that middle person, right?
Yes.
And so like how when I was on the school board, how I understood my role was I'm the bridge between the community and the school. Right?
Okay.
Like whatever the community is lacking from the school, they come to me and other board members, and then we on our end work with the administration to put something in order, whether it be a policy, whether it be some type of processy to build that bridge, that connection to
Okay.
alleviate what the issue is. And that's what I believe elected officials are. We are the bridge between the people and government, and we're elected to represent and to help. And our role allows us to help because it's within our title. Like it comes with certain powers and it comes with certain abilities where we can affect change, right?
Right.
Like, we can do
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
versus
You're
just
in
like
that position.
just instead of like babysitting.
Especially
Mhm.
right. And especially if you have your community behind you,
Oh,
supporting
absolutely,
you,
that support.
which I talk about also with voters outside, is that we have to support our candidates and we have to support even candidates we didn't elect. If
Mm,
we like what they're doing, we have to support them because our support helps them get their job done. It gives you
exactly.
guys the position to say, I have 10,000 people in my ward
Mm,
that need XYZ.
mhm.
And this they elected me to make sure I secure that for them.
Exactly. Exactly, and going to your point, like, even if you don't like them, 'em, they're still our representative.
Yeah,
Like, they're still like, you don't like the person, they're still there to represent you,
right,
and you have to work with them. Like you have to work with them. If you truly want change, you have to work with people. And again, like when I was on the school board, did I like all my colleagues? No.
but you have
It
a
wasn't
your
about liking someone. It
exactly,
was about what are the needs of the
exactly,
community, and let's get this
exactly,
work done. And so
exactly.
and that's where, like, having experiences in, right? Having experience working in government, being government,
Uh-huh.
knowing this is how you move this along. This is how you push this over. This is and right, and, like, one of the first things I learned when I was on the school board is how to count to 5, right? If you wanna do something, you need 5 votes. You already got 1 because that's you, so you need to count to
Right.
5. You can't be isolated either, like, you can't say, like, "Oh, whatever they got going on, I'm against it." Like, you gotta work with people, like, you have to work with your colleagues in order to push the needs of your community forward,
Okay.
and bring back resources and bring back everything that your community needs. And you can't do that in isolation. You can't like, not only do I know that as an elected official, I know that as a mom.
I know exactly what you mean. You make
I know that as a teacher. You gotta work with people. Like you are not like I'm going to solve all like, no, you're not. You gotta work with people. And I know how to work with people. I know how to work with
awesome. And I got 3 more comments before you go.
Okay.
These are good ones. George, let's start with George. He says, how would you address bad landlords who don't maintain their property? Fines, violations, mold, etc.
Yeah. So one, we need to look at the laws that are in the books, right? And so
thank you. Because I don't know why people want to reinvent the wheel. Let's just see what we have and then enforce it.
That's the answer. Also, do we need to make it better? So like one thing, right, as the elected officials, right? Like we elected officials, government, and we can't just go on people's property, right? Like we can't just do things. Right. There's things called constitutions, right? The US, New Jersey, right? There are laws and we want these things, right? We don't want government coming into our property and like taking it or trying to control it, right? Like that is wrong. And so we need to see what's already in the books. Like what are our laws? What are our ordinances? And do we need to strengthen them? And we also need to be thinking about the negative consequences that could come out of strengthening those type of laws, right? If you are a homeowner, if you're a property owner, right? And now the city of Newark is coming onto your property, that's kind of a taking, right? And that is illegal, right? There needs to be due process for all of that. Exactly. And I always like, it's not even like a pushback, but it's more like a conversation. How much government do you want involved in your life?
Right.
And that is truly that's been a question of all times, like since the inception of the United States. And if you want government to come on to anyone's property to handle certain things, that means that the government can come onto your property as well. And so, right, it's duality there, right? It's not you don't get this one thing and you don't get this other thing. Like, no. It comes together. But to specifically answer your question, we need to see what's on the books. And then we need to see, do we need to making these stronger or do we need another approach? Right.
Okay.
And then in terms of violation, I like as an attorney, there are people that look up how much fines are. Like, the fine is 1,000. Well, okay, we'll just pay the fine. Right. And so if there are repeat offenders, like are fines increasing? Is it just staying the same? How often are we sending out code enforcement, right? And so if they're only being fined once a year and it's just $1,000, that's really nothing for, right, a landlord. Like, it's just a bill. It's not even like a big bill, like $1,000 for the fine for the entire year. And so, but if you get the second violation, you get the third violation, you get the fourth violation, the fifth violation, right? Like, are we increasing the fines? Are we increasing what are we doing to disincentivize repeat offenders, right? And so fines are there to disincentivize them. Like, I don't want to get fined. But if the fine is like $1,000, sure, I don't care.
Wow. So how do we deal with that though? Like,
what do you mean?
Because I wouldn't want more government on my property.
And so
with the landlords who don't care, is that more so educating tenants about their rights and
educating tenants? It's twofold, right? Because it's like, how much of a burden do we put on residents, right? Versus like how much, and I feel the same way with property taxes. Like, if my property taxes are going up, and how much of a burden do I need to go down to City Hall to do a tax appeal, right? Like, and so what is the balance? And you can find a balance. You can. But you can't find if you're not at work. Right. You can't find if you have multiple jobs. Right. Right. Like, you can, like, there are solutions. You just got to put the work in. That's definitely something that I learned on the school board. some of my favorite board colleagues put the work in, right? Like they didn't show up like to board meetings. It was like the first time they're ever looking at resolutions, right? Like when they show up to board meetings, it's because they read the resolutions, they read the laws, the policies. They did the work, and so when it was time to show up for the meetings, it was like, oh, I'm on now. Like I know I did my homework. And so, but when you have multiple jobs that are just pulling you in all these different directions, how could you have
how
time
effective?
to find
Right.
solutions?
How effective can you be?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
We're going back to Jahad Tillman Jr. He had a long one. This one was about tax abatements. He said tax abatements are not the problem. The problem is the way the program is being implemented by our government. Those economic incentives are designed to bring 3,000 to 5,000, jobs annually through our workforce development. Our community has lost 500 million annually in workforce revenue for Newark residents and billions plus annually in local minority contracts. It's the leadership that is responsible for the lack of benefits designated for, I'm assuming it says new property, but it's a bit long.
Yeah. I don't think tax abatements are bad. And we can rewind this interview. It's just more so being knowledgeable of what tax abatements and
I don't think you said that.
And how it affects residents who property taxes are increasing, but tax abatements are going out. What I said was we need to be making sure that developers are reinvesting in the community. And so going off of Mr. Tillman's point, what does that reinvestment look like, right?
Right.
And so it most certainly should include a workforce development, right? And so when you say like you're going to give us jobs, the developers say like, okay, we're bringing jobs. What type of jobs?
Okay, right.
Like jobs that are of quality, union jobs, right? Like jobs that allow people to have families and stay in the community in which they're from and live in and not being pushed out. If someone like, okay, I got a job, but right, like I'm only making barely minimum wage. I have no protections because it's not unionized. There actually might be a high turnover rate, right? Like custodial or right, it's not unionized. And so just like, oh, we don't like you, you did this, goodbye, like you're going to be let go. And so we need to be making sure that our developers in something called community benefits agreements, CBAs, between the municipality and the developer of what the developer will be pouring back into the community. And one of those things, most certainly, it can't just only be jobs. It needs to be workforce development, because the jobs that we want our residents to have is skilled jobs. And how are they going to become skilled, right? They need training. They need formal training. We have the Lionsgate studios coming in, right? And we can go down what that means for the Dayton Street area, but just to focus on the job creation, there's a lot of jobs over the course of decades that is going to be coming into the city, and we need to be making sure that these jobs are not being outsourced to folks that are not of the city, right? They need to be people that are from here, born and raised here, and taking advantage of these opportunities. But they can't take advantage of the opportunities if they don't know the job, right?
Like they're not skilled and trained.
Yeah, like I can't be a lawyer if I didn't go to law school.
Right. So are we getting set up with these new developments to the point where they're coming in knowing we don't have the skilled workforce?
Whether they know that or not, it is up to our leaders to advocate for it, right?
Because trained.
Our leaders need to be saying like, it's not, oh, just FYI, our residents are not qualified. No, it's up to our leaders to say like, hey, we need workforce development training, period, right? And that's going to set up our residents to having these long-term quality jobs. And yeah, whether they know it or not it's not that's not on their plate, because we put it on. No matter what, like developers, they are for profit. They're going to do their job. Their job is to make money. You can't fault them for that. That is their job. it is the job of our leaders to advocate for these needs. And so whether they come educated or not about our population doesn't matter. It matters that our leaders are advocating for the needs of the people.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Leon Coleman said he remembers at one point no shooting was done in the South Ward. What, in your opinion, changed this? Because every other week in the South Ward, there's a shooting.
I don't know. I don't know. I know the aftermath, right? Like I know not even the aftermath, like I know the when it's happening because I'm affected by it. Like I hear it. And I know the aftermath of it. And so what's causing it, and we can like we smart people, like statistically speaking, young people do more crime than older folks. And so what are our younger people doing? Like why do they have this type of time, or why are they making these type of choices, right? The reason why I'm such a lawyer, the reason why I don't want to answer the question definitively, because I don't know exactly, but we can make assumptions because we smart people. And so if our youth is committing crime at higher rates, we need to be giving our youth something to do. Right. We need to give them something to do that's of their interest. Right. And we can't say, well, back in my day, all right, well, that was cool back in your day. Now we're in their day. So what are we doing to what are we doing to connect with our youth? What are we doing to give them opportunities that they are interested in doing? Not what we want them to do, but pique their interest. And then are we and so budgeting becomes very, very important in terms of the direction of whether it be a business, a community, organization, municipality like Newark. If we're saying we want to help our youth, are we directing monies to helping our youth? Right? We can't just say we want to do this, but not fund it. We have to fund it appropriately. Also, we need to be doing a better job with having better connections with our schools, right? And I'm not talking about someone working at our schools, getting a paycheck from our schools. I'm talking about a partnership between the municipality, the South Ward, and the schools in creating programs for our children. And that's something different from someone working at a school and getting a paycheck from the school, because that's not partnership. That's an employer.
Right. Wow. So you basically gave your plan for the youth. You're gonna partner with the schools. You're gonna find out what the youth are interested in, and you're gonna look at the budget and make sure it's funded.
Yes, thank you.
You laid it out.
Thank you.
Laid it out. Like
yes. Thank you. You're a journalist. Thank you.
I got that. I learned that at Rutgers University too.
Period. Okay, are you? Period.
Period. The education paid off.
Yeah, and it's not just education. It's not just book education, right? It's your experience too, right? And so when you coupled experience with book knowledge, it's a beautiful thing, right? You can't have one, you can't have one without the other. You can't do that. When that happens, though, something's going to be missed out. And so, but when you have, and like when I say my credentials, I don't only rely on my resume in terms of and I went to this school and I have this degree. I rely on my experiences, whether it be as a mom, whether it be as a teacher, whether just being like, hey, I walk down the street to take my clothes to the laundromat, right? It's like my experiences allow me to be a leader in my community, and couple that with my education. Girl.
Yeah, right. It's like magical. Amen. And I look for other people in Newark that's like that too. Because I think it's a certain understanding and like a quality that you're gonna get out of those people. And not to take anything away from anyone else, but it's like you understand both worlds.
Exactly.
And can move in and out through both.
Absolutely. And there was someone, I recently did an interview for a podcast called Beers and Bottles. And someone in one of the comments was like, oh, they were talking about like my marital status. I'm not married. And they were like, there's rooms that she won't be in, that she can't get in because of she's not married. I thought that was funny, because I'm just like, whatever room I'm in, no matter what room, like, let me name out all the rooms I've been in, right? I've been a school teacher, right? I've been in a schoolroom. I've been in boardrooms, right? Like I have been in courtrooms.
Oh my gosh. You said you did family, criminal.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. I've been in courtrooms.
Landlord tenant too?
Yes. Oh,
see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm glad you were on the other side of those courtrooms.
That part. Well, the other side being, right, the lawyer side, right? Because there's like the tenant side and there's the landlord side.
Not the person wrapped up in
the lawyer side. Actually, and just disclaimer, I've never represented a landlord and landlord tenant. I only represented tenants.
Nice.
But what else? And so other rooms I've been in, right? Like I've worked with developers. I've been in those rooms, right? And so the room, and so what you were talking about, like the agility, right? Like I can be down at Utterman Field watching a football game, and then, right, within a matter of hours, I could be in a room with developers. And so that agility, and still, one, being true to myself, and knowing the purpose in which I am there, and being able to advocate for the needs of our community. And so having that type of agility is necessary, right? Like you can't only be in this one area, but then when you get into these other rooms, right? Because for a certain type of person, it could be very daunting. It could be like, oh, like, am I smart enough? Do I know enough? Or whatever they say, I'm just going to say, yes, sounds good. Yes, sounds good. Like, no, that does not sound good.
Yeah.
No, that does not make sense, right? Having that confidence, and that confidence comes from not because like, oh, I am, because I am who I am. The confidence comes from I'm prepared, right?
Yes. Oh.
And so it's important to have folks in rooms where being prepared will take the community that much further.
Absolutely. Yes. Because sometimes that tacit knowledge, we hit a wall, and it's like, bruh, I think we need to get somebody else in this room instead. Because you just don't understand.
Let that be the tagline. We need somebody else in this room. Absolutely.
The suit got you in, but the brain is not keeping you here.
The label got you in, the tag.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and this is our, like, when we're talking about like city council, we're talking about livelihood. Like these are our lives.
The seriousness.
Like this is where we live. This is where we're raising our children. This is where we're educating our children, right? Like this is where we're food shopping. This is where we are washing our clothes. Like this is where we're walking down to the park. This is where our kids are walking down to the park, right? Like this is not cute. Like this is real life.
Yes.
And this is our livelihood. And this is how we're, if we don't have this together, like it's detrimental.
Yeah.
Like it's very, it's not cute. It's not like, oh, this is so cute. Like, no, these are seniors, right? Like who are being targeted, right? With different types of frauds. Right. These are families being pushed out because pricing is just going up and up and up. Like it's not something to be taken lightly. Like it's not cute.
No,
these are alive. And we need people that understand that, and that knows how to fight and push for the agenda that is in the best interest of us, not them, of us.
Right. I agree 100%.
Oh yeah.
So I had you on here for a little over an hour, but I appreciate you giving us your time. Yes, see, I told you it was going to. I knew it was going to flow, and we were going to have a good time.
Yeah.
The audience, thank you so much. I'm going to give you the floor so you can give us your conclusion or say anything that you feel like we didn't cover that must be shared and said, and let us know your ballot position.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me on. Like you said, like this has definitely been in the making, and thank you for allowing me to be on here, give me a platform to get my message out there, and right, just having a conversation that is rooted in just getting to know the candidate, getting to know me, and not like, oh, now 1, 2, 3, like not being robotic. Let's just talk. And so this is it's an amazing platform. And so congratulations on having such a platform and extending it to me. And my name is Asia Norton. I am running for South Ward Council. I am of this community, and I'm raising my son to be in this community. I'm invested, whether it be through love, passion. My family, we've been here and we're not going anywhere. And I want to make sure that no family is pushed out of here, and making sure that we feel safe, that quality of life. And so asking you to come out and vote for me on Tuesday, May 12th for South Ward Council. My ballot position is 1C. And no matter what, I'm going to end off by saying, come out and vote. Like our ancestors, and I made a post about this not too long ago. My grandfather, he fought in the Korean War, and he grew up in the Jim Crow South, and he did not always have like my grandfather didn't always have a right to vote for himself, right? And so my grandfather is the man that registered me to vote, and I'll never forget it because he said that he fought for this right.
Wow.
And so no matter what, it is our job, it is our duty to vote, because voting, right, like no matter how much we talk, no matter what we say, it is the action of voting that is truly the voice that allows us to determine what our future looks like by our elected officials. And so no matter what, on Tuesday, May 12th, come out and vote, right? Vote. That is imperative. And I'm asking that you come out and vote for me, Asia Norton, for South Ward Council 1C. Thank you.
Thank you. Very welcome. Munira L wants to say we need more women on Newark City Council, and it's time for a woman mayor. And Miss Patty says, yes, I agree with Munira. So
amen. You know what?
You never know.
Nothing but a woman's touch.
Exactly. I appreciate you coming on.
Yes,
I had fun.
So much. I appreciate you. Thank you again, and thank you for your viewers, your listeners, for taking the time to listen to me on a Thursday.
All right. You're very welcome.
All right. Have a good one, all.
Okay. This has been Current Exposure. Peace, everybody. We're out.